Hello and welcome to Stay Paid, the sales and marketing podcast from ReminderMedia, where we bring you the best actionable advice to help you grow your business so you can live a life of freedom tomorrow, but only if you take action today. My name is Joshua Stike.
And I'm Luke Acree.
How's it going, Luke?
It's going great. Today is the day to make hay. That's what you said before we came on this podcast, right? Today is the day to make hay.
Yeah.
Yes. And hay is money, right? Hay is money.
And paid you will stay.
And paid you will stay. It's the 12 days of Christmas. And it's not even Christmas. It feels like Christmas here at ReminderMedia because this is our busy season.
Yes.
And we freaking blow up during this time of the year because everybody has to send something to their clients for the holidays, so they end up using us. But
well, speaking of sending things to your clients for the holidays and clever rhymes, we're going to be talking about writing today.
Yes.
So you're writing holiday messages to your clients. Hopefully you are. If you're not, this podcast will certainly help you out. But our topic today is on writing for your business. Now, I know that might bring back some school memories of staring at that blank sheet of paper or watching the cursor blink in place for an hour of that Word document, but we wanted to take it back to the point of why you should be writing personalized letters to targeted segments of your clients and prospects. On average, I think everyone knows this stat, but people see over 5,000 marketing messages or advertisements a day, which means to cut through the noise, you have to be personal with your approach. As a matter of fact, one statistic says that marketers have noticed a 760% increase in revenue from segmented campaigns. That's according to Campaign Monitor. So put that into perspective.
That's unbelievable.
Going from $10,000 in revenue, simple math here, take you to $76,000 in revenue if you just segment and personalize your messages. So today, we're going to go over how to segment, what segments you should be writing towards, and then some examples that we've seen our own customers use for success.
No, I love it. You know, the saying is your network is your net worth, right? I really truly believe it's how well segmented that you can create your network. Meaning your marketing campaigns, and I've shared this before on webinars, I've shared this before when I'm coaching people, your marketing, the success of your marketing will be dictated probably by how well you segment that list that you're targeting. When you really think about it from a tangible application standpoint, what has Facebook really capitalized on and allowed you to do? It's allowed you to really segment your audience to only show relevant information to the right people. So what they're really, really allowing you to do is they're allowing you to go, I'm going to help you segment this audience you're going to talk to be specific to them based upon their likes, their interests, and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
And so letter writing is no different.
You just have to do the work manually.
Correct.
Right. You have to do the work manually. So you have to start off by grouping your contacts into segments. Now, this can be by location, gender, age, job title, buying history. There's a lot of demographic things that can go into creating your segments. But it's really taking one piece of advice would be to kind of go towards the emotional target. So to target actually based on the emotion or the reason for which they reached out to you.
Yep.
So if you're segmenting or writing stuff to your leads, what was the reason that they reached out to you in the first place? We've talked about this on past podcasts with things like lead magnets.
Yep.
You know, if someone's coming to your site and you have an ebook or something on your site all about preparing your home for selling, or all about decorating your kitchen or kitchen renos, you know.
Yep.
Now you're kind of filtering these people into not only the demographic, which might be their age, gender, location, but you're also filtering them into what more like the psychographic segment, where what is really driving them.
Yeah, the context of where they're at.
And why did they come to you in the first place for the information that you're providing?
Correct. It's like all of us tend to write based upon where we're at,
right, versus
based upon where that person we're writing to is at. And it's such a subtle change, but it makes all the difference in the world. I went to a Tony Robbins conference, and I think I've mentioned this before, but it really spoke to me about, he talked about like the key to sales and the key to growing a business is based upon how well you can find out somebody's pain, their greatest pain, and their basically greatest desires. Those two things is what you're searching for, is what's their greatest pain, what's their greatest desires, and then you create an irresistible offer that attacks those two things. It's the same in this type of analogy or example. When you're writing this letter, you're writing in the context of trying to figure out what is this person's greatest pain that I'm talking to, or what are their greatest desires, and what's my irresistible offer? Right. How am I solving that problem?
Yep.
So let's talk about like segmentation. So to give you guys kind of context of why we're even talking about this, our product, American Lifestyle Magazine, gives our clients the ability to write a personal letter on the inside front cover of it. So you can literally, with our product, the magazine, you could literally write a personal letter. So this is something for the past really 15 years we've had clients do, and we've seen certain trends, certain successes, certain things like that, and it all starts going back to kind of your list. So let's talk a little bit about segmenting your list. What are the different categories that we're seeing? Where would you start? I know exactly where I would go for number one.
You have an above the noise on this.
Yes, I do have an above the noise.
No, but before we even get into that, you can. One of the things I would recommend you do would be to start building out personas, and this is something that we've done for our company. So a persona is.
This is a deep marketing term.
It is, yeah. No. Take your list and start to picture real people that represent a group of your list. So
that's great. Yep.
This would begin by segmenting them down by common behavior patterns. This would be shared pain points, like what you were saying with Tony Robbins. This would be universal goals, wishes, and dreams, things that this person may all share in common with each other. And then you have your general demographic and biographic information. So then after you have that and you have your people, create an actual person that has a name and that has a picture, because this is going to help you then whenever you're writing, because now you're no longer writing to a blank sheet of paper.
You're writing to someone, yeah.
You're writing to Millennial Mark or Empty Nester Esther or Derek.
How long did it take you to come up with those? Empty Nester Esther.
Derek and Debbie Dink. You know what Dink is?
No.
Double income, no kids. So this is a whole group of people that your message can be targeted towards. And this isn't, I mean, I'm not making this stuff up. HubSpot actually has a tool that allows you to upload a picture and assign persona to your sales lead.
That's awesome.
So that you can then start to understand from a sales perspective, because guys, everything's sales. Writing these letters, yes, you're doing it conversational. Yes, you're writing it to your past clients, but it's still sales. So you have a person that you're writing towards, and you're not just writing to that blank sheet of paper.
I'll make a sales point there, is that there's proven statistics that a generalist is always outsold by a specialist.
Yes.
And that specialist is, you can speak the language, you understand the pain points, you understand the industry. So this idea of the persona is just making you even more specialized into who you're talking to or how you're angling your message. So if you find yourself, maybe you're a salesperson listening to this, because I know we have a bunch of sales professionals that listen to this, you need to be thinking to yourself, one of the best pieces of sales advice I've ever heard is that the person said, and this was on LinkedIn, the person said when they were giving a tip to a new sales rep joining their company, the sales rep goes, hey, what should I do? What's the best thing I can do as I'm joining this company? He said, go and shadow your client for literally 2 to 4 hours. Shadow them. Learn what they do, because once you learn what someone goes through and what they do, you become a specialist in what they're doing. And 2 to 4 hours is not enough, but the point being is, a generalist will always be outsold by a specialist, because it gets into ultimately the confidence and authenticity of what you're delivering.
Yeah.
Because now you really can feel the pain of the real estate agent that we're selling to, or you can feel the pain of the financial advisor. For you guys, you can feel the pain of the first-time home buyer. Like, how much easier is it to be a real estate agent once you've gone through the process of buying a home? A lot of people get into real estate because they hated the process of going to buying a home and how painful that was. So anyways.
Our software allows you to segment, build custom lists. So, and I know we mentioned you have an above the noise on how to do this, but you've really got some great tips on what to segment those by. So I'll let you kind of run with that.
Yeah, meaning I think the first one is your friends and family.
Most overlooked.
Oh man, it drives me nuts. Here's the question I think all of you should ask yourself, right? Because everybody gives the same response when you say, hey, send something to your friends and family. Write a personal letter to your friends and family. I don't need to tell my Uncle Joe that I'm in real estate. He knows I'm in real estate. I don't need to tell my Uncle Joe I'm a financial advisor. Here's the question that you need to ask yourself with your relatives. If I asked you right now what your relatives do, there's a chance you probably know what your relatives do. If you don't know what your relatives do, that should be a sign right there for you. But if I asked you, what are the things they need in their job to drive success? Chances are, 99% of the time, you don't know. What is it that they need for their boss to look at them and go, you've done a great job, you deserve a raise? Or if they're an entrepreneur, a real estate agent, a financial advisor, what do they need to actually make money? That's where people make the mistake. Your Uncle Joe doesn't know you as your profession of what you need to drive success in your life and in your business. He might know you as Luke the Realtor, but he doesn't know you as Luke the Realtor that needs a referral. So everybody he talks to at his work hey, if he hears you're looking to buy or sell a home, he actually says, hey, you need to talk to Luke. He's a great realtor because he knows what you need. That's the mistake, and that's why you need to add these people to your segmentation, is because they know you, but they don't know what you need. And the purpose of writing these letters and keeping in touch with these people is not so every letter you write to them, Uncle Joe, I wanted to write to you again as your nephew. I want to make sure you remember that I need referrals. That's not the point. The point is that you're connecting with Uncle Joe, you're keeping that relationship with him, and then it gives you the opportunity at certain occasions on that nurture campaign to then bring it up. Oh, by the way, I just want to make sure you know that I'm looking to grow my business. I'm looking for referrals. So the most overlooked, I believe, is that people don't add their relatives to the list. They don't add, and here's a great thing. Steven, my brother, who everybody knows I talk about all the time, he's a realtor. He got a deal from our Aunt Beth, who gave him, it was a referral deal. She was, where were they at the time? They were moving, I guess, to South Dakota, I think. And he got a referral deal. Now, he wasn't the real estate agent, but she reached out to him. He was able to vet an agent in the area, and guess what? He made a commission. He made 25%, I believe, off of that commission. So the point being is, like, think about that as a real estate agent. How many deals are you losing right now? Because you have relatives spread across the country, and you're thinking to yourself, I don't work in that zone. And you can get a referral fee that easy.
And that kind of goes to when to send a letter. You mentioned you wouldn't want to send a letter to your Uncle Joe every month.
Time asking for referrals. Well, you could. It'd be
if
a nice
you have a piece
campaign
of marketing, or you have a newsletter, you have something, an email that's going out to that list, to your client list, this is where you need to add those people into that marketing mix. That way they're still receiving an item of value from you, but then they're consistently reminded that this is what you do for a profession. And then every once in a while, every third letter, fourth letter, whatever your cadence is of that, for American Lifestyle, it goes out 6 times a year. So every other year, or every other year, every other issue,
every other year
that's 3 times a year, right? You're just mentioning in there that, that you do work off of referrals, or even if you're not in the area, like you mentioned, put the group of people that you're sending to that aren't in your local area into another segment. Because now that's a new message that you need to explain to them how they could help benefit your business, because these people care about you. You're sending them something of value, so they're going to want to help. You just have to spell that out.
And can I make the tangential point that a personal note is so valuable these days? Like as technology and things have become more accessible. But like one of the things that I love about our business right now.
If you want to know how rare it is, just sit down and start writing something, writing a card out. You're like, I don't know what to say. My hand hurts after writing 3 sentences.
My handwriting sucks. Like, wow, I forgot to write how to write in cursive. I mean, who knows how to write in cursive anymore? I don't. But the point being is that a personal letter or a package that you're given or something that you're sent is so much more valuable. We're seeing a rise come back in direct mail. Why? Because as everything gets more inundated from technology standpoint, you're getting less and less direct mail. So now it's more valuable. Think about it. If someone sent you a personal letter right now, would you not open it? You would open it. You'd open every one. If someone sent you a FedEx package, you're opening every one. So the point being is like it becomes so much more valuable.
So other ideas would be your social routine.
Right.
So this is your day-to-day. If you're going to the gym, if you're part of a church, if you're part of a community program, making sure that you're including people that you interact with on a peripheral basis. They might not be part of your circle, your social circle, but these are certainly people that you run into every single day. You've told stories about your personal
The gym is interesting because like I go to the gym now. I've been on this kick since January, trying to go to the gym at 4:30 and all that good stuff. But
I'm going to start that next year. That's my
guys. Please hold him to that. Hold him to.
What'd you say? 4:30?
Yeah, 4:30
in the afternoon.
Yeah, 4:30 in the afternoon. The point being is the power of the gym is that you see the same people usually. You won't see the same people in January and usually in March because people give up on their New Year's resolutions.
From March to December.
Yeah, but I'm seeing the same people every single day, and you can't help but get to know those people. Once you see them every single day or every other day, if you're going to the gym every other day, you can't help but get to know them. And the beautiful thing about it is don't just go the first time you're at the gym and go introduce yourself, but over time. And then a really good tip for you would be friend the trainers at the gym.
Because they know
Because
everything.
they want to talk to you, of course, because they want you to be a client, but they know everybody. And they'll introduce, and 9 times out of 10, the easiest way to get introduced to somebody at the gym is when the trainer's there. Because the trainer will be talking to that person. You'll come over and you'll go, because I know our trainer in the gym, Steve. I'll go, hey, Steve, how's it going? Oh, by the way, my name's Luke. And now I have an introduction to Josh through Steve, and it's more natural and Josh doesn't feel awkward. So just a networking tip for you there. But you want to add your social routine that Josh is saying. And what people don't realize is when one of the common things we have when we sign people up for our magazine is they, well, I don't have 50 people to send to, which is crazy to think about because of course you have 50 people. You're just not thinking about it the right way. So when you think about the segmentation of your list, you think about your social routine. Don't just think, okay, you got your gym, but you have your church, right, that you might go to. So you have, the people at church, your pastor, but even more than that, you have your person who delivers your mail. Guess what? That person usually is the same person. Think about it when you're a professional salesperson, a professional financial advisor, a real estate agent, or something like that. That person, not only do you see every day, a lot of times the people I'm going to mention here, the person who delivers your mail, they see a ton of people. So they're what I would like to say is like an influencer, a connector. They have relationships with so many people because their work makes them.
Yep.
You could go as far as the person who picks up your trash, the person that you run into every day at the grocery store. The library, if people go to the library anymore, you go to the library anymore?
My wife and children go to the library every week.
There you go.
Twice a week.
The library, the daycare, these type of places that you're going to every single day. It's a natural place for you to add them to a segmentation, write them a personal letter, because you're seeing them every day. It gives you time to nurture and build that relationship. You don't have to go in 100% going for the sale. You go in just naturally introducing yourself.
Past and current clients
Past
is
and
another
current clients.
Obvious segmentation.
So let's hit on our realtors real quick.
Yep.
So what is it? Over 88%, am I getting the stat right? Over 88% say they're going to use their realtor again?
Yes. Yeah.
11% actually do.
Yeah.
So 88% say they're going to use you again at the closing table. So this was a survey. They surveyed, I believe, over 2,000 home buyers at the closing table. Said, were you happy with Josh Dyke, your realtor? Would you use him again? 88% yes. When they surveyed him again, 5 years later, I think it was. I might keep getting my years a little bit. Maybe it was 7 years. 7 years later, 11% had used them. Why? Not because you did a bad job at the transaction. You probably did a great job at the transaction.
You did a great job.
You probably serviced it well.
Said they'd use it again.
You did a terrible job at the relationship.
Yeah.
Why are we talking about writing a personal letter? Why is this whole week themed around writing a personal letter? Because we want you to get personal and build a relationship with people. Because when you build a relationship with people, then they'll remember you and use you a lot of times because of the charity aspect. Meaning like you feel bad not using your friends when they do something, right? So if you have a trainer that's a friend at the gym and you're going to get a trainer, wouldn't you feel bad if you didn't use that person? Like you're sitting there drinking a beer with them and you're like, oh man, I'm going to the gym now, I'm getting trained, and here's your friend, the trainer, and you're not using them, right? So the almost like the charity aspect, so you can capitalize on that. But that's the point of the relationship, and I'll tie it into financial advisors right now. So what you have to understand when you're a financial advisor is when I'm investing my money with you, right? If you don't have a relationship with me, if you haven't written me a personal letter to get to know me, to invest in me, and not just a personal letter, but this is the example we're using, when the market turns, and I don't know when the market's going to turn, but history dictates that the market's going to turn. We've been on a bull market forever right now, so the market's going to turn. When that market turns, if you don't have a relationship with me, all you are is eTrade.com. All you are to me is just a vendor, a program, an application that invests my money and I'm expecting a return. If you're the guy that knows my wife, Megan, that I have a dog named Nora and Bilbo, because my wife loves the Lord of the Rings for some reason. I love you, babe.
Who doesn't love Lord of the Rings?
But the point being is, if you're that guy or that girl that it knows me personally, that's writing me personal letters, that's investing in the relationship, now when the market turns, it's harder for me to move my money because you're not just E-Trade. You're not just an application. You're an actual relationship. And that's why that segmentation, when you think about your clients and you think about your past clients, it's so critical that you keep in touch with those people, because the last thing you want is you want them, and how many of us have this experience in our own lives? You go to buy something and the service is amazing. Mm-hmm. They're on top of things. They're calling you back. They're texting you. They're going an extra mile and they're giving you things and you feel on top of the world. And then the deal is over, the transaction's done, and you never hear from them.
Yeah.
How does that make you feel? What it makes you feel when you think about it, I promise you guys this, it makes you feel you were just a transaction. It does not matter how much you texted me during the transaction, kept in touch with me, did amazing service. All I feel like is a transaction at that point. And that's why having that segmentation and writing a personal letter to that segmentation is key.
It's why you have to personalize it, because number one, you don't want to make them feel like they were either just a transaction or account number, or that you're not recognizing them for what they gave to your business, right? They used you and you helped them in what they were looking to accomplish with the services that you provide. But at the end of the day, they paid you. Yep. You made money off that person.
And they know that.
They know that, and they want to feel appreciated, which is why you should split that group off and make sure that your letter addresses them individually. Now, I would also say, as part of kind of what to write in those types of letters, make sure to bring those people into your personal life. Don't make it all about business whenever you're following up with them. And don't make every single letter about the referral.
I actually love, maybe this is weird, and tell me if you love these letters too. I love the letters I get that are like, this is what happened to our family this year.
Right.
Like Susie graduated from 4th grade. We had this happen. We went on this vacation. I actually like those letters.
Yeah.
So I know it might be strange, but
I think it's
an example
amazing
of a letter that you're talking about. I actually like those letters.
It's exactly what to do. Yeah. Another one to segment forward would be top prospects. This one's another obvious one. People that you've maybe have just met, you've already had the meeting with, but they're not a client yet. They haven't signed on with you. Or people that you know of that you really want to convert to a client for your business. That would be a separate segment to write towards. And then another one would be your sphere of influence, your business associates, people that you could that you network with that could recommend you your services.
You should always have a segmentation from a standpoint of your I call them your hot leads, but your A list, your B list, your C list, and the idea of the time frames in which they're going to buy. Mm-hmm. And I've mentioned this before, that if someone says they're going to buy in 6 months, I've been told they're going to probably buy in the next month. Meaning, like, so you always got to, calculate what you're doing, but you want to segment those people and keep in touch with those people based upon when their time frame of buying is. Because if I'm in the 30-day mode of buying, sending me product information is awesome because it's so relevant to me. It's what I want. If I'm 6 months of buying, then you're going to want to make it maybe more personal, maybe more just, hey, it was great meeting you the other day.
Keep the relationship alive.
Keep the relationship. Right. I'm always impressed. Like, I'm part of this group called YPO, and we do networking events and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm always impressed when I meet these other executives at the event, and they take the time to shoot me just even a personal message on LinkedIn. Hey, great to meet you. One of the letters I just got referenced the event we went to, which was about this water event and everything like that. And it said,
water event?
Yeah, it was basically, I don't know if you guys have heard of this, like straws are killing so many, like sea turtles and all that. This is probably not a terrible, to bring us down, but straws are like killing the environment, right? So
we have someone in our office that uses reusable straw.
Well, there you go. So
it's
this
like
event was all about that. So we were learning about that. So he goes, I'd love to go out for drinks with you, sans the straws. So he's mentioning that, right? Which is awesome because then, he's connecting with me personally and following up. And the difference is because I'm meeting so many people at that event. There's 100 people at that event. I'm meeting so many. And just sending a personal note to me separates that person out of the whole crop that was there.
Yeah. So ideas for writing messages. Make sure that when you are writing messages that you're also including a call to action. The status updates are great, making sure that people are aware of what's in your life. But what is going to help you, or where do you want to take this group of people next? So beyond that letter, tell them what's going on in your life is something that we talked about. Another thing is, like, don't overthink the writing. We think of it like a Facebook status message is kind of like the one that I think of, like a Facebook status update.
Well, I don't think anybody cares about that stuff anymore. What is it? What is the Chicago format? What was the format?
The Chicago Manual of Style.
Yeah. So no one cares about that
Nobody
anymore.
cares. APA,
I hate
MLA.
that. Jesse cares about it.
We care about it.
Manager. We care. We write the magazine.
But when writing your messages, make it personal, make it real. Write like you speak.
Yes.
Seth Godin, the author, is a great example of this. If you watch Seth Godin speak, and
all of my writers back here are shaking their head at me with hatred.
But if you watch Seth Godin speak and then go read one of his books, he literally writes exactly how he speaks.
Correct.
He writes chapters or paragraphs in his book, entire sections will be like 3 sentences long. On to the next point, and just writing basically like we're talking now.
There is a marketing, and you know this better than I do. Like, you want to write, like, not at a 5th grade level, but the point being,
I think it's like a 3rd grade level.
Yeah, you want to write, like,
literally.
Is it a 2nd grade letter? Yeah, we're getting our writer basically configured confirming this, a second grade letter or level, because people's understanding, they can comprehend it real fast. They know exactly what to do.
Yep.
And it's not overcomplicating.
Don't overcomplicate. Don't use unnecessary adjectives. Write in common sense English. All of these things will help you kind of get started with this, and just write like you were going to have that conversation.
I would say, don't misspell things. Now in email, we're not talking about email marketing, but I've heard statistically, like if you misspell something a little bit
in your subject,
people actually look at it more because of automation, right? But personal letters are not automated. So I would say don't misspell things.
But the goal at the end of the day is to be persuasive, right? You want to be able to persuade somebody to the next step. You want to be thankful, especially if it's a past client or it's a relationship that you have, and you want to be authentic. So if you can hit on those three things, you'll have success. So I actually polled our marketing services team here.
Love it.
And got some feedback from them to find out what tips we've given clients or we've seen clients use in their letter writing. Now, this is specific to ALM, but it's general. This can work. Obviously, these tips work with our magazine,
across the board.
But this could work across the board. Brennan actually said that he's found a lot of agents have a bio already on their website or on Facebook.
Okay.
So he sometimes recommends that they use a bio on their inside cover letter. That way they're giving clients and prospects some background on their personality and credentials, but don't have the pressure of having to think up of an entire letter to write this. So I thought that was a cool idea. If you're kind of hitting a blank wall for this month's newsletter or letter that you're writing, consider writing about yourself, what your bio is, what your background is, what brought you to this point. Yep. Another great one, Jessica said that clients always think that our clients always think their clients should just call them automatically, which is great. We see that all the time. But explaining that you have to give their clients a reason to call. So at the bottom of the letter saying first person to call with a referral in their favorite article of the magazine gets a $20 gift card.
Ah, that's a great idea.
That's a way to get
That's
engagement.
the call to action you're talking about. But you know what I love about that call to action is it's value to them. And at the same time, you're getting what you want. So when you think of clever call to actions that add value to the person who's actually doing the call to action, that's the key.
I had to laugh about this one because this is kind of the same way as the typo that you mentioned.
Yes.
But Daniel said that he had someone had purposefully put the wrong dates or holidays in the letter. So if this mailing was going out in November for Thanksgiving, they would write Happy 4th of July.
Oh, that's awesome.
The recipients would call him to let him know that the letter was wrong, which opened the door for further conversation.
That is genius.
That was funny. It kind of goes along with the typo. No, you're taking a risk there.
You are taking a risk.
You have to know your audience. Maybe do that to your friends and family first to see how it works.
Or put a crazy picture on your inside front cover. Get people to call you.
Another great one, Amber said, recommend adding a call to action asking their recipients to friend you on Facebook so you can interact there. Or writing about ties to your area that you work in. So if you're a local professional, talking about have you lived there your whole life? How involved in the community are you? Anything fun coming up in the neighborhood, because featuring fun events in the area is a great way to catch the reader's attention.
Yep.
It's also a great way to have a conversation with your local,
become the community advocate, which is ultimately your goal as a service-based professional in your community.
And then another one I thought was great, Dan and Brittany both said this, but having different groups and letters already pre-written for birthdays, anniversaries, or any other big event in people's lives, and then just move people into that segment for December. So take a look at everyone.
Awesome.
So you only have to write a birthday letter once. Take a look at everyone that has a birthday in December, move them into that segment for that month. Then next month, everyone that has a birthday, anniversary, or another important event in January, move them in, just keep moving them in.
One of the greatest tips I heard was leveraging holidays and they were doing it through text. You could do it through letter too, but literally shooting everybody in your database a text that says, Happy Thanksgiving, thinking about you. Everybody thinks it's a personal text, personal message from you, even though you're doing it to everybody.
Yeah.
And you're doing it for your whole segment. So that's awesome. Plays right on that.
So there you go. There's some tips for writing a letter, how to personalize your letters, how to segment your audience for those letters. Thank you so much for listening. If you liked what you heard today on Stay Paid, please go to iTunes, give us a 5-star rating, and make sure to leave a comment.
Yes,
You can also find our podcast in video on youtube.com/ReminderMedia. Make sure to tell someone about the podcast today if you like it. And if you'd like to get hold of me or Luke, please email us at podcast@remindermedia.com or find us on Instagram or LinkedIn. And of course, you can always check out Reminder Media on social media. We are at Reminder Media on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Pinterest. For this episode of Stay Paid, I'm Joshua Stike.
And I'm Luke Acree. Guys, please go and rate us 5 stars. The reason why I want you to do that right now is because if this gets rated 5 stars, then it gets the chance to be seen by more people, which means more people will engage with it and hopefully take value away from it to grow their business. That's what this is all about. I want to close with this action item for the podcast because I think it's super relevant. It's coming up. Is I want to challenge each one of you to take your database. You have Thanksgiving literally right around the corner and you have Halloween right around the corner, right? So choose one of those holidays and literally write a personal note to the core people in your database, the people that you know have really made a difference in your business this year. Maybe it's through referrals, maybe it's the clients that you service this year. Write them a personal note, literally thanking them for, being part of your life, whatever they've added to your life, and then ask them for referrals in that personal letter. Take action on that. The difference between a top producer and a mediocre producer is top producers take action. So take action on that today.